What's up everybody, it's Kellen here from Starter Systems and welcome to another MX vs ATV Reflex track review. And today we're going to be looking at Hydra Island by punkerjeffy. And I just want to do a quick shout out at the stuff that I'm wearing here, which is a very Ken Roxon-esque replica of set of stuff. The bike is a Jimmy John's RMZ 450 by Mitch177. The helmet is a Red Bull TLD SE2 by Sam Jobson. And the gear is the Glen Helen LE Flex Air 2017 Fox stuff by Dan Robinson 567. And this time I'm going to include all that stuff in the description so that you guys can download it, because I haven't done that in a long ass time. But I figured I'd go with a Roxon look today because why not? So I'll do 5 laps on this track. And just another quick shout out to this Hydra Island stuff by punkerjeffy. He said that he would like to thank DS19 and the TD guys for help on this track. And DS19, I believe, is Dark Sides or Dark Slides 19 or whatever, who also makes tracks. And I guess he helped punkerjeffy with certain aspects of the track. And then I'm gonna guess that the TD guys are everybody else that helps with the building of the tools of the track. But again, I'm not super inclined on the Reflex community, so I'm not going to swear to know everything about that, but I would like to give credit where credit is due. And since punkerjeffy gave those guys credit, we'll give them credit as well. And then we're going to do 5 laps on this pretty gnarly track, which I've already done a few laps on myself. Or not a few, I've actually only done 1 lap on it just to get a feel for it. But it's crazy. Since I come from more or less a MX Sim like background, I would relate this track more or less to, I think it was called Volcano Island or something like that in MX Simulator. I don't know if he got any inspiration from that track whatsoever, because I don't even know if punkerjeffy plays MX Simulator. But that's what this track most similarly resembles to me, although I would go as far as saying that it's a little bit more of a crazier version of it. Lots of cool sections on it, like these big ass cornering jumps over water, and then you actually get to go through the water on some of it because the track goes low enough, and I just got a terrible drive, but somehow still cleared that step up. But yeah, I don't know, it just has a Volcano Island feel to it from Sim. Probably because it is an island and the center of it is the tallest part of the island, and it has all these crazy up and down hills and jumps and all this cool mumbo jumbo stuff. But again, another super unique track creation that the Reflex community pumped out. And this is an old track as well. Not really old, but it's not brand spanking new either anymore. I think it's like a month and a half old. But we're always a little bit behind on the Reflex stuff, but we like doing it anyway, because if you guys don't watch other YouTube channels, this might be your first time seeing the track. And I'm sure some of you out there might also like to hear our opinions on it, or at least just my opinion, because Jeremy is not here to elicit his personal opinion on this track. But I am, and so far I think it's pretty freaking bitchin'. As do a lot of other people on Reflex Central who rated this track very well. But I think it has really nice flow. It has some pretty cool jumps, all of which are, so far at least from what I can tell, clearable on any bike. Normally, sometimes I'll play tracks that I pretty much, due to lack of talent, I can't clear some certain things on the track. But this one I can clear everything just fine. Hop right over these big step ups, no problem, and I didn't have to change anything on the bike, just fully upgraded it with the 15 million save file stuff. So yeah, it's a pretty straightforward track. This is a cool section. You could split here. I'm going to go to the left this first time, and then later I will go to the right, but you kind of just cross back across the track and jump back, and now that's a full lap in the books. Not sure where the finish line jump is. Don't know if I've passed it already or if I'm going to pass it sometime soon or what the deal is. But I'm just going to keep riding until I do. So I'd say of all the things that I'm most flawed at in this game now, I would say that whoops are my definite killer. For some reason I can't seem to hit whoops in this game for the life of me. I'm slowly figuring out the whip glitch, which pretty much everybody except me knows how to do, I think. And I'm learning, but I still haven't got haven't got it figured out yet. Jeremy's helped me with it when he can, but usually I'm left alone trying to figure it out myself. And a lot of people on Steam these days have been inviting me to play Reflex, not always readily available. I've been playing a hell of a lot of Grand Theft Auto since Cunning Stunts came out, and Jeremy and I will be doing videos on Cunning Stunts and Grand Theft Auto very soon, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. But you guys hit me up on Steam. I promise I'll eventually play Reflex with you guys. I just been a little bit busy, and Reflex isn't always something that I really am keen on playing, but today I felt like playing it. It feels like a Reflex day. I'm probably going to make like 3 or 4 track reviews just today alone, because I'll actually be going out of town for 25 days, 25 long days without me, next week. So this is coming out on Friday, August 12th, and my fiance Hannah and I are leaving on Wednesday, August 17th to go on a 25-ish day road trip. And we will be gone until the 11th of September, so that's why I'm going to do pretty much like 3 or 4 Reflex track reviews today so that we bump content out way in advance. So you'll see every Friday while I'm gone probably a Reflex track review from moi. And this will be the first one that you guys will see, but I'm not gone yet. So if you guys are watching this, I'm still in town. Not that it matters, because I don't think most of you even know where I live. So I forgot to look and see where the finish line was after the first lap, but I did a 3:05.7, so I'm assuming it's somewhere like 4 or 5 corners in. Alright, so this is this big double thing. And you drop down here, and I'll go to the outside this time because I went to the inside last time. You swing around and hop up this guy, and then you meet back up with the track. So you kind of cross over the track and then meet back up with it not too long after that. Swing it around, and I think one of these jumps might be the finish line. If not, it might be that huge double that I'm coming up to. Although this lap felt pretty good, and I'm going to be pretty dang close to the lap I did the first time. What? Up. Alright, try to take something other than the outside here. Alright, yeah, so this has got to be it. Let's see. Yep, 3:04.29. So a little smidgen faster. I haven't crashed yet, which is peculiar for me because I normally crash a lot when I play Reflex. So far, so good. Jumping up this steep uphill here. Yeah, I think punkerjeffy. Man, I keep wanting to say punkerjeffy, but it is punkerjeffy. He did a really good job on this track, and I enjoy playing all sorts of variations of tracks, but for some reason, when I play Reflex, I really like playing these kind of unrealistic tracks, if that's what you want to call it. Not that nobody could do this stuff, but it's definitely not your average everyday motocross track that you see, and I think I like doing that just because Reflex is a really fast and arcade-ish type of game, so to be able to take advantage of those kind of physics with a out-of-this-world track, if you will, it's just something that I find unique because, you know, MX Simulator, we play the crap out of it, and we see a lot of realistic type tracks, and so when you get the chance to play a non-realistic track, if you will, it's unique for us. Or at least unique for me, and that was my first crash. So I went, where are we, 10 minutes into this video without having a crash. Finally had a crash. It was bound to happen. So what else can I talk about? I could talk a little bit about this Roxen setup that I'm running here, which is kind of a strange mix of Roxen-esque stuff. It's his basically 2015 version of his Jimmy John Suzuki. because it's got the red #1 plate. It's pretty much the bike that he ran at Hangtown and nowhere else, because he had the red plate at Hangtown, but due to his injured back, he finished like 17th and then like a 6th in the second moto or something crazy, and lost the red plate after that. Never had it back because Tomac had it and then Dungey had it. Roczen never did have it again. So it's basically a Hangtown Ken Roczen bike with his Glen Helen 2016 Flex Air limited edition stuff. I'm not too sure he's ran since Glen Helen. Could have though, and I could be mistaken. And then a Troy Lee Designs Red Bull helmet. Just trying to stick with the Roczen theme and go with a Red Bull helmet. And I was looking for a Fox helmet. Couldn't find one, just decided to go with this one. So it's a wide variety of different Roczen type things without it being a full Roczen timeliness setup, if you will. But I still think it looks pretty good, and I think it looks pretty similar to everything that Roczen does and wears. And although he won't be on the Jimmy John's Suzuki team for long, he will probably be the national motocross champion this year, so this #1 bike isn't completely out of left field with that. Don't think... So he could wrap up the title as soon as Budds Creek. Not this weekend in Unadilla, although... Well, I guess technically he could, but Tomac would have to like DNF. I think Tomac is 55 to 60, somewhere in that range points back. So if Roczen wins both motos at Unadilla this weekend and Tomac DNFs both motos, or only gets a handful of points, you know, 4 or 5 points, Roczen would leave Unadilla with a 100 point or more advantage in that case and be the champion then, because he would have a 4 moto advantage on Tomac with 4 motos left to go in the season. So it's looking like it's going to be extended at least until Budds Creek before Roczen wraps up the title, but unless he gets injured, I don't see him losing it at this point. And kind of curious how people will view this title, I guess, because I think Roczen was going to beat Dungey regardless, but with Dungey getting hurt and being out, I think a lot of people might be like, well, Dungey wasn't there, so there's going to be an asterisk on that championship, like people tend to do with Chad Reed's titles in 2004, 2008, and then his 2009 outdoor title, because so many people were hurt when Reed won those that they think it wasn't really deserved, or that he didn't earn it, if you will. But I think Reed earned those titles, and I think Roczen earned this title, and it's unfair to say that because someone was hurt and missed the season that they didn't earn it, because you have to be in it to win it, as Chad Reed always famously says. And Roczen this year was in it to win it, and I mean, he went toe-to-toe with Eli Tomac, although Tomac seems to be a little bit off his game compared to what he used to be when he was on Geico Honda. But I just, in general, looked like Roczen was the better rider of the 3, and, you know, including Dungey, this season. So I think it's deserved that he'll win this championship. And pretty crazy to think that Roczen, who only won a 250 regional supercross championship, never could put the outdoor season together. The closest he got was the year that Tomac won it in 2013. Will soon be a 2-time 450 motocross national champion. And I'm trying my best to think if that's ever happened, where a foreigner, not American-born rider was a 2-time national champion. And for some reason, it's slipping my mind. I'm sure that it's happened. Can't seem to think, though, because I know Albertine won once, but just once. Langston won once, but just once, so that's 2 of South Africa's. Reed from Australia won it once. I'm gotta be missing somebody. Jean-Michel Bale win an outdoor title? I think he won I know he won a Supercross title, but can't think if he won outdoors. But either way, I think that's pretty cool of Roczen to be a 2-time AMA National Motocross Champion, a world champion in the MX2 division, Supercross 250 champion. I mean, at this point, if he can win a 450 Supercross championship, the only thing Roxon will have missing from his resume is an MXGP or MX1 World Championship, which, who knows, you know, if it comes down to it, he could go back later in his career and get it done still. He's still very young, only 22 years old, and about to have just about everything but a Supercross and MXGP World title accomplished in motocross. He's already won the Motocross of Nations, which, unless you're American, not many people can say they've accomplished that feat with all the other stuff. Won the MXDN in 2012 with Max Noggle and Marcus Schiffer at Lommel. I think he was the MX2 overall winner that day, so he was an individual Motocross of Nations champion as well. Pretty stunning talent is Roxon. I know a lot of people will probably say that he's not the absolute fastest rider we've ever seen, and I mean, I think that could be an agreeable terms, but boy, the kid is good. And I say kid because it still kind of amazes me that someone that's younger than me is doing all that, is winning national motocross championships, is a world champion, all that stuff. In fact, I think Roxon is the first like 450 champion in AMA competition that is younger than me. Like, so premier class, 450 class, back when the 250cc's ran or whatever, Roxon was the first person to be younger than me and win an AMA title, which, you know, obviously I'm not saying like, wow, I could have went and won that, but it's just so weird watching up growing these stars, thinking like, wow, that could be me someday, and now someone that is younger than me is doing those same things that I was saying that could be me someday, and it's him. So kind of a random thought, but again, just super strange to be not old, but older than one of the fastest motocross riders in the world. He's had less life experience than me, and he's done a whole hell of a lot more with his life, I would say. So kudos to the kid from Metzet, Germany. So this is going to wrap up the video, though. Thanks for watching this one. Coming to the finish line. I don't think I'm going to beat my 2:04.2. I am not. If you guys like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll hit you guys up with more Reflex track reviews in the coming weeks right here on Start Your Systems.